Okay, in this video we're going to be installing the Atom text editor. Okay, so you can find that, open a web browser and go to atom.io. Alright, and you'll arrive at the Atom text editor website. The latest version available, it will detect what operating system you're using. Just click download. It is a fairly large download. Okay, and we can execute this. This takes a minute or two, and after this we will configure Atom with the basic settings that we like. Okay, we're getting closer. We've got our icon on the desktop. And there we go. So we're going to be using Atom a lot. You can go ahead and click yes always on this. Alright, so Atom is open and it's in our active window tray. We can right click on this and pin it to the taskbar because we're going to be using this a lot. Okay, the first thing you want to do is uncheck show the welcome guide when opening Atom. The welcome guide is right here. If you don't uncheck that, this opens up every single time you open up Atom. Okay, we can close this, and then telemetry consent. I like to click yes. It gives them anonymous usage data to help them determine if their program is working properly. As a computer scientist, I feel obligated to do this. Okay, so there we go. Now we're in Atom and we have no windows open, no files open. That's fine. So we're going to configure a few settings. First, you can go to File and then Settings. Notice Control Comma is the shortcut for this. So we can open settings at any time with Control Comma. And there's a few important settings we need to add. Okay. First, in the very first window, Core, close deleted file tabs. This means if the file is deleted in the operating system, then it will automatically close that tab in your text editor. And that's important because it can be confusing if you have a file tab open that doesn't actually exist. Okay, so click on that. Next we go to the editor section. And then inside of editor here, we want to check a couple of boxes. We want scroll past end. That allows you to scroll past the end of a file, so you can move the text up higher than just the very bottom of the screen. That's very handy. Show invisibles. So that shows invisible characters like tabs and spaces, but it's in a very neutral font color, so it doesn't stand out. It has very low contrast. Okay, but it is important to see if it's a space or a tab or a new line character, so that's nice to have on. Show Indent Guides. That shows you the indentation level of a particular line of code, so we want that as well. We want soft wrap. So if a line of text is too long, it will automatically wrap, but it won't change. It won't add a new line character. We won't add an extra line to our file. Okay, and then the soft wrap hanging indent to be 2. So when it does wrap around the line, there'll be an indentation of 2, and that'll tell us visually that this line is actually part of the previous line. Okay. Tab length, we want our default to be 4. That's the best setting for starting out programming. A lot of professionals use 2, but there's not. It's kind of hard to distinguish 2, especially when you're first starting out. So we're going to use 4, and it's a common indentation length. All right. So after that, we want to go to Packages and search for Bracket Matcher, and go to Settings. All right. And as we scroll down here, we want to uncheck autocomplete brackets. Okay, what this does, when that's checked, if you make a left parenthesis, it automatically makes a right parenthesis, and that can kind of get in your way when you're working. It's very annoying for me personally, and it messes with new people to computer science a lot of the time. So we're going to turn that off. Let's see what else we need. We'll go to Packages and search for another package. Autocomplete Plus. There we go. Go to Settings, and we'll scroll down. And for Autocomplete Plus, we want to change the key map for confirming a suggestion. So autocomplete basically scans your file, your code, for any commonly used keywords, and it will make suggestions. Okay, and this is all about how you accept these suggestions. So this is the most intuitive way to accept suggestions. It follows the same standards that most other applications you would expect to use. Okay, so the default isn't quite right, and then they added this after the fact because they realized that this is better. So, but you have to manually set that up. Okay, so tab always will accept the suggestion, or if you explicitly use your arrow keys and select one, you can press enter. All right. So after that, all we need to do is install some additional packages. Okay. So open up the command line, cmd.exe, right, and it comes up here. You can click on that. I have mine favorited down here. I recommend you do that as well. And if Atom was installed properly, we should have a program here called APM, and we can check by just running APM and see if we get a response. So yes, it showed us our help, right? So we have APM -- version. Right, so it gives us some version information, so that's good. Now what we can do is we want to install some additional packages from Atom. So Atom is an extendable text editor, so depending on what you're using it for, you might want to install additional packages. Okay, so these are the packages that I like, and you can copy and paste the packages. So you can copy from a clipboard, a text document, and then right click, or let's see, we will copy, and then it used to be right click. Let's see what we got. Edit, paste. Oh, you can just Control V now. All right, Control V, maybe. We'll just type it out. I'm using a virtual machine, that's why I can't copy and paste between machines. All right, so we'll type these out, APM, and then the command is install, and then you just type in the package name that you want to install. Okay, so we've got language, JSON, so this will give me a chance to explain what each one of these are. JSON 5 is an extension of the JSON language, and in Python, or in Atom, any of these packages that start out language, it's basically colorization, and allows Atom to read the file and colorize it appropriately. Okay, so we're going to have a few of these language Markdown. Okay, we're going to have language view, and you can look at what these languages are. Pretty JSON. It allows you to make your JSON formatted as you want. Open terminal here. This is really nice because it allows you to open a terminal in a particular, as you're browsing your project, you can just open a terminal in a particular folder. Open in browser is the same thing, except you can open a file in the browser. Alright, we want chmod allows us to change permissions of a file, change mode. That's what chmod stands for. We want tab control. Pigments. Pigments allows you to, when you specify a color in code form, it actually shows you that color. File icons is a better set of file icons so you can tell what type the file is, just with the little icon. Tree view auto resize. This is very useful when you have a large project with a lot of files and the project view can expand or shrink depending on the largest item visually that you can see in the tree. Alright, let's see, we need linters. Linters basically scan your code and they show you if they tell you if there's something syntactically wrong. Okay, so they're very useful. They'll make you aware of any issues that you might have in your code before you try to run it. So that's very helpful. So we're going to use some linters. Linter PyFlakes. Okay, we're going to need the linter CSS lint. We'll need linter ESLint. And you can look up all these if you want. Linter HTML lint. Let's see what else we have. Linter markdown. We need linter shell check for shell scripting. And then minimap. So on the right hand side there's a minimap that basically gives you a bird's eye view of your file, and so these will help you locate things in your file. So minimap, we need minimap linter, minimap find and replace. Minimap selection. And minimap pigments. There we go. And linter UI default. These are dependencies that you'll need for all these other packages. Spell that right. And then intentions and busy signal. So I can post these in the comments. And then you just press enter and it starts installing these one by one. And one thing to note for at least PyFlakes, you're going to need to install PyFlakes as soon as you install Python in order for that linter to work. And so you can just disable it in the packages setting until you do that if you would like. should be just about done. There we go, we're back to our command prompt. So now we can close Atom and then open it back up, and we should be good to go. Alright, so that's installing Atom.